Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to the 15th episode of Dada the Autistic Alien. I'm very happy that you're here with me today again. And today I want to talk about pain. So let's maybe start with the topic of trigger warnings, because I guess that's the point where some people would insert a trigger warning. But I do not believe in trigger warnings because I do not believe in pain not being felt. Yeah. I believe that we have to be triggered so that we can heal. Like when we do not get triggered and we are just like packed in cotton all the time and nobody is like pushing our buttons, we do not have a chance to heal. I do, although, believe that this can happen in a safe space. You know what I mean? When we are with conscious people who can, like, are emotionally mature enough to understand that your own trigger is not related to them. It's just that they did something that triggered something in us, and it's not them who did it. So when we are with conscious people, we can say, oh, wait a minute, like I feel triggered and I want to like understand why I feel triggered right now. Because me being triggered means that you touched a part of me that's still wounded. Yeah. And I want to know where I'm wounded. So if I'm feeling safe enough with you, I will feel safe enough to explore with you where you maybe have touched a wound, so I can understand what kind of wound it is. Yeah. And then, like with emotionally mature people, this is a very beautiful process. So, and I believe like when we build up a culture where everyone is just like trigger warning all the time, and we kind of walk on very like, in German, we say silent steps around each other, and we, like, as I said, pack each other in cotton, then healing doesn't happen. And I do not believe that that is love either, you know? And it's not a loving act to do that. But we can still have, like, a lot of love and empathy and hold a safe space. And then we can meet our wounds instead of just packing them into cotton or taking substances to like kind of pack them away. Yeah. And I don't mean that like substances are a bad thing, but like when I smoke weed, I'm very aware of what I'm doing. And when the pain is too strong, I believe it's better to smoke weed than to like do stupid things like harming myself. But then again, I also still know what I'm doing. So I strive to create a reality where I don't feel so much pain, so I have to smoke so much weed. Yeah. And I do that first before I just take away my consumption of THC when I know it's good for me in this like particular circumstance that I'm in right now. Yeah. So it's always about creating safe spaces where we can actually meet our pain. Yeah. Because, you know, to me, pain is just a signal. And I don't want to like diminish the value of pain right now, but let's look at the body. Yeah. I'm a tattoo artist, so I'm confronted with pain a lot of times, although I work with trance healing during my sessions, so most people do not feel that much pain, but still like I'm harming the body. Yeah. So I can kind of like sense that as a shaman as well, like how like the signal gets triggered. And this pain signal is something of very high value, in my opinion, because it just signals that something is wrong. Yeah. And not wrong in the sense of like unhealable or anything like that, or even like wrong in the sense of like really being at mistake. It's just not right. Something is not right for the individual that feels the pain. And when we look at physical pain, like when you tattoo close to an organ that's very important for your survival, the pain will be stronger, simply because it's more important that when you have a wound in this area, it's very important that you understand that you have a wound, because it can be lethal. And so the pain signal is much stronger in your brain than if you have like a little cut somewhere where there is like in a place that is not necessary for your survival. Yeah. And I feel like we can take a lot of this towards the pain that we all feel on a soul level, or on an emotional level, or a mental level. Because I feel like everybody can relate. Like, some people may be more honest about it with themselves, and others are maybe less honest about it with themselves. Or maybe some really do not feel it, although I never have met somebody that has never felt that. Like that deep pain, like longing for a world where we do not have to cut off parts of ourselves to fit in. That deep pain that makes a lot of people take substances, that makes a lot of people feel like they don't belong. And I feel that, especially with pain, the only way out is through. The only way to understand what's going on is when we understand that pain is a signal, and we reflect on, oh, so what kind of signal is that? I feel like my soul is too big for my body in a weird way. And it doesn't have enough space to like really express itself on this planet. And I feel like a lot of people feel that. And when I like reflected more deeply, I understood that it is because like there is enough space in my body, but generally there is not enough space for my body to just express itself as it is. And I kind of covered that in the last episode when I spoke about dancing, that I feel like a lot of the pain that we feel is that there is like this deep, deep belief within our systems that we cannot be here the way we are. We have to change in order to fit in. And that's actually true, but it's true about the system. It's not true about planet Earth. It's just true about the system that we have installed here. That it, like capitalism doesn't, or also like globalization doesn't leave enough space for the individual. That's what I said in like the episode where I talked about tribes, and that our consciousness isn't really, or our mind isn't really capable to feel connected to more than 30,000 people. And I truly believe that, as I covered also in the last episode, that like when people like me who feel like they can lead others, and but also with the heart and with the soul, create circles that, and like they don't have to be huge, like I don't strive for a circle that has like 3 million people in it. I don't want that. I want my circle, let's say with a maximum, that's like, I couldn't even dream of that capacity for Enzo Elia, but like 30,000, that would be so much. And I don't actually want more, because I want to feel connected to the people. So I'd rather have other people opening their own circles and other people resonating with their circles, and then those that resonate with mine. Or maybe we can also be part of many circles, right? But I believe like that's the future, not like this one company takes over the whole world like Coca-Cola or McDonald's or something. I don't believe that that is the future. I believe that there can be many that do the same thing, or like a very equal thing, let's say, yeah, because I have a good friend, she's a Kundalini yoga teacher, and I realized that she actually, like, she kind of teaches what I teach in Enzo Elia. It's just framed with Kundalini yoga, yeah. So, and there are many other disciplines that you could compare to what I do, and it's not exactly the same, but still it does the same work, yeah. And I believe that that's kind of the future, and I believe that that's the way to meet this pain of not belonging, yeah. I can either focus on, oh, there's pain, oh, there's pain and I just want to make it go away. Yeah. I mean, like for me, for example, I don't have headaches a lot. But when I have a headache, I first find out what causes it. In my case, mostly I didn't drink enough water. So I first drink enough water, and then like if the headache continues, maybe take a pill if I have to work or I have to function. And if I don't have to function, I will just lie down and I just like let the pain dissolve itself. Yeah. And of course, like I don't have migraines or anything. So if it's a stronger pain, I wouldn't advise to do that. Like only what your body can handle. But I believe that being with the pain first and really looking at, oh, what causes the pain? And then making it go away would like really keep a lot of people from doing drugs at a young age. Because I believe we should actually teach that in schools, that, oh, okay, I feel this pain inside of myself, and this pain inside of myself is just as valid as if I would have a wound on my physical body. And first of all, I have to look at this wound. So what is the wound? I don't feel like I belong. Okay, so how can I find spaces where I feel like I belong? Where are the people that are actually already creating the spaces where I belong? And this can be anything. It doesn't mean that you have to be in a shamanic community like Enzo Elia. It doesn't mean that you have to join an online women's circle. It can also mean that you go to jungle parties, or that you go to like, I don't know, you really like to dance to house music, that you go there and you really look for the people who like to do the same things as you. I don't believe that we find many people who are actually exactly like we are, but that's because we are already here. Yeah? We are all very special, so we are unique. Yeah? But what we can find is a little piece of ourselves in others. Yeah? And this piece, when we really connect to them, it gets bigger and bigger. Because the people, what I've learned from dancing is that the people who like to do the same things as you, they have some more things in common with you. Maybe they look totally different. Maybe they live totally different lives, but there is some sort of connection. Yeah. And in my experience, this connection is kind of deeper than when you are with people that think alike. And it's different when you are with people that feel alike. When you are with people that do alike, it has a different quality. And that's maybe, like I'm really a doer. Like I really love to do things. I don't really like to learn them a lot. I do them and then I learn them by doing. Yeah. And so maybe this is also just me being me. But I really like also when I give this kind of counsel to people that I coach or guide, they always say that it really changes their reality. Because I believe, and I think I said that before, that the universe doesn't really speak words, it speaks actions. So whatever I want, I have to move to. Yeah? Like practicing something every day that you want to be part of your life is the best way to get more of that into your life. Not about talking about it, not thinking about it, not feeling about it, but actually doing something about it, You want to become a good singer? You can either search the perfect class, and for sure you will find that, but if you don't have the guts right now to do that, why don't you just sing every day? And there's nobody to listen to you but you. And then you can like experiment with your voice and like I did, sing very bad as you can, and you realize it's not that bad. And then you sing better, and like it's all about that. You can do some vocal trainings that you find for free on the internet. In this time where we learned, and I said that before too, that we have to process everything mentally before we are allowed to do it. That's kind of what built up this block within ourselves. Yeah. And by just doing things, even when we suck at them. Yeah. Like for me, it wasn't easy to dance in a shamanic ceremony when I was used to dancing in dark places with people around me fully on drugs and very loud and fast music. I was like blocked. But also I felt like, wow, I really have to be here because I love dancing and these people love dancing too. And although most of them are way older than I am, and I don't feel like we connect on so many levels, we have this in common, And maybe they're not my best friends after this ceremony, but they did this ceremony with me, and they did something they love, and I did something I love, and I felt that. I felt that echoing through me, you know? And I feel that's actually what people maybe also experience when they go to the gym. I feel that this like kind of gym addiction that kind of arose in the past 10 years here in Europe. I think in America they did earlier. I feel it's also that you really belong to a tribe. You go somewhere to do something that you love doing, no matter the reasons why you love it. I mean, there will be some people that don't really love doing it, but have to. But most of the people that go there love doing what they do. And so, although you maybe not even really like talk to them a lot, it's still this kind of connection. It's a physical connection. And I believe that this gives us oxytocin. I don't have any study to prove that right now. I also didn't actually research that, but I truly believe that that's what gives us oxytocin. Yeah, that like also yesterday I did the first shamanic dance class with the Enzo Elia members, and I felt so full afterwards. Although I didn't even see them. I mean, they saw me, but I didn't. I didn't see anybody. Like I had to keep in mind that I'm not just recording a video, but they're actually participants because I don't hear anybody. I don't see anybody. But still, I felt like so much connection, and afterwards we chatted a bit in the Skype group that's connected to the call, and you know, it was this feeling of oxytocin and this feeling of doing something together, and like, and that's such a beautiful thing, no? And I believe that this can really help a lot with this pain. You know, the reason I'm actually recording this is I have my first appointment for my diagnosis next Wednesday. So when I record the next podcast, I will tell you about it already. And it made me think back on all the psychotherapy I got when I was a teenager and all the therapy I got since then. And I realized that in the first place, therapy didn't help me because there was no space for my pain. There was always this intention of making the pain go away as quickly as possible. And because I'm very strong in my expression, like my friends know that I always exaggerate, yeah. That's just who I am. I'm trying to tone it down, but that's just like I exaggerate with my words, so I don't do it with my actions. And I just feel very strongly. So I kind of, it's not even maybe exaggeration, it's more that I feel so strongly in this very moment that I feel this strongly that I have to express it that strongly, and afterwards it's not like, it wasn't that big of a thing anyways. But yeah. And I realized that whenever I got into like this pain, and I just wanted to talk about the pain of being alive, it got raw. Like I'm talking about 20 years ago, just to clear that up. But it got very quickly into, oh, you have to take antidepressants, or you are suicidal, and we have to bring you to a clinic. And I wasn't either. Like I was not suicidal in the sense of I wasn't thinking of how to kill myself. I was just contemplating the thought that I didn't feel at home here. And the way that was met throughout my psychotherapy adventures, so to speak, was, oh my God, we have to find a drawer for you because like maybe you are bipolar because one day you're good and the next day you're bad. Or maybe you're manic depressant. Oh, but yeah, you also don't really suit that. Oh, maybe you're this. Oh, maybe you're that. But I didn't really fit a drawer. And every time I felt like, oh, I'm just too big and I don't fit into these drawers. Maybe I am the whole thing, you know. Maybe I don't know the word right now, but maybe I'm like all the drawers, yeah. And then at some point I just like thought, okay, you guys can't help me because all you want to do is find, like, it doesn't matter what I have in the end. The question is, how can I live with it? And if you need a diagnosis to tell me how I can live with that, or you need a prescription drug to tell me how I can live with that, that I will have to use forever throughout my life, And if I will have to get rid of it, it will be really hard. And that's the solutions that the system has for me. Then, like, I'm out of here and I will go to Peru and I will drink ayahuasca. And that's what I did. And I don't say it was the easy way. It actually was the super hard way. And I had so many years to integrate everything, and like I kind of was my own shaman. That's, I guess, was my initiation. But like I know that other people can't do that. I don't really believe that lots of people can do that, because it's like it takes so much inner strength and also like some kind of naivety that maybe is from my autism. But anyways, what I try to say is that I was thinking a lot about what ways are there in the Western world to meet that pain in a safe way and work with it physically. Because in therapy, it's not like, for sure, there are other therapies now. I don't want to say that. But like, I don't really know a therapist that I would like tell you now, oh yeah, that really helped a person. Like, some of them guided some of my friends very well, but they didn't heal them, like, or they didn't like provide the space for my friends to heal themselves truly. That didn't happen in psychotherapy. I never seen that. And I don't want to bash psychotherapy. I think it's good to understand where is the wound, where does it come from, but I don't think it's good to heal anything, because the mental body is what conflicted the wound in the first place. So I came to the conclusion that I think we can meet that pain in places where we do things that we love doing with our physical bodies. And this can also be singing. Yeah, this can be singing, dancing, hiking, whatever. It's good if like there are other people doing the same thing, but they don't even have to do it with you. Yeah? You can go dancing at street parade and dance for yourself. But other people that love the same thing. And I realized that that is very much healing. And I remembered that when I did the trance dance, like throughout my 20s, I realized that many nights I was like on the dance floor, in the middle of the dance floor, and I had my hood up and I was like crying like crazy. Like so much. And I was like so confronted with my pain through the music, but it was so good because nobody saw me. It was dark and I had my hood up and I could just dance with this pain. So I realized that already then, like, this really did a lot for me. And I believe we can do that too. Like, if we have a lot of anger, we can also go to the gym. And nobody will, like, really see how angry we are when we push that. Like, I've never been to the gym. I can't even give you an example. But whatever. Like, if you really push yourself and because you're angry or because you're sad or whatever, you know, like, I feel like we can meet that pain there in a kind of safe environment because there's something we can do with our physical body. And because I strongly believe that the physical body is here to release things, like for sure in the gym it would be good to also do like these loosening exercises, but I don't know if they do them because I've never been to a gym. But anyways, like not only push yourself but also like actively relax yourself. That's a good thing. But anyways, I strongly believe that even fishing, like, I believe that there will be a lot of things coming to my mind right now. Like, I don't know, if you are an artist, maybe there are, like, open places where people go and draw art. Or if you're a musician, you find people that do music with you. You know what I mean? I believe that this is really healing this inner wound, because everyone I meet, that's like the initial wound, the initial core wound or pain that I really believe all have is, I have to change to fit in. I have to be this and that to be loved. I am not enough the way I am. And it's so important to me to meet that. And I know that, like, I did this self-love exercise that I put on my YouTube. You find it there. But I know that many people don't do it because you kind of need to have self love to do a self love exercise. So that's kind of a bit stupid, no? So I looked for other things that maybe are easier for the ego, that is not so much in self love mode. And that's my like current conclusion because it's what helped me so much is to just like go somewhere where I can do what I love and other people are there doing it too. And then I will go home happy. And if you want, you can test that. So, yeah. And to conclude, maybe the diagnosis thing, I was also like, then I was wondering, like, okay, should I even get a diagnosis? Like, is this worth, because it maybe cost me a lot of money. I don't even know how much it will cost, but I will have to pay it myself. And like, I don't know, like, what is it for? Like, then I have this diagnosis, and like, it helped me heaps to understand what I have because I could help myself, but now I help myself. So I don't have like, there is not so much problem anymore. I have to move out from where I live because it's not healthy for me, and there are other changes I did in my life, but it's already there, yeah. So what do I need it for? And then I was like, okay, but the reason is that there were times in my life where I was doing really, really bad, and I don't know like how things will be when I get older. So when I don't do it now, I maybe have like more issues when I'm not doing good in the future. So that's what I want to take care of. And also, I believe that in terms of diagnosis, they are far more advanced than they were 20 years ago. And I actually believe that a lot of people are in the spectrum and don't really know it. And this whole spectrum story kind of ties in with what I said before, that as long as there is neurotypical and there is neurodiverse, there will always be the neurodiverse people who feel like they have to cut off a part of themselves to fit into the neurotypical world. Yeah. And that's like just the same way that I said before that we have to cut parts of ourselves off. So to me, I'm not really sure if there is like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not sure if there is like a full neurotypical person, to be honest, or if these are just people that when like they are so conditioned that they just seem neurotypical, because in the end, it's just a system that is neurotypical. Everybody is a bit weird. That's what I learned. Anyways, what I wanted to conclude with is that I wanted to do this because it makes me understand better what I wanted to cut off from myself when I have this diagnosis. Plus, I feel like this neurotypical and neurodiverse is just the scientific framing for what I was talking about before, with like so many people feeling like they don't belong and that they don't fit in. Yeah. And it has a lot to do with the system. So when I can like have a term to describe that, and then maybe also can speak up for people that are not as good in talking about these things as I am, then it's totally worth it. And also, I kind of made this podcast because about this getting this diagnosis, so now I have to follow through. So I will just do it, because in my head it was really crazy. I read this book, and it also covered like how Hitler treated disabled people, and I was like, oh my god, like if there is like World War III and then they just like gas me because I'm an autist and I got this diagnosis. So this is how far it got, and that was like really crazy for me because it just shows that this is also in the collective subconscious. Like, disabled people were not treated okay for like millennia, and it's like so crazy that me, who is actually like safe, is worried about this. It's just like, I feel it's like an echo from my ancestors that maybe went through different things, where you had to hide that somebody was like mentally not doing so well or was just not neurotypical. And yeah, so I'm working through that right now, and I'm dancing with it. Yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this episode about pain and about everything I talked. And I really hope to see you next week again or hear you next week again. I wish you a lovely week ahead. And yeah, all the best and much, much love from me to you. Bye bye.